and the OWC Valentine special. It's the Hot Guy Killer with the America's Sweethearts. That would be Suzy and Michael.
Yay! I'm America's Sweetheart. I'm number two.
Hello. Oh, am I supposed to be talking?
You're supposed to be talking.
Welcome to tonight's show. OtherWorldly Cultures presents their first ever Valentine special, Hot Guy Killers. Yay! If I'm supposed to be giving us an intro, I don't have that. I don't think we need it. Everyone knows who we are, and it's not about us. It's about our favorite top 5 Hot Guy Killers of all time. I don't know. Michael, do you want to start?
Sure, I can go ahead. I have a...
Wait, what?
5.
What do you think a Hot Guy Killer is? I need to know.
Obviously, it would be someone who's a killer and who is a hot guy. It's a very simple definition. And I can give you an example with my... waiting for the number 5. There she is.
5.
So my number 5 pick would be Professor Henry Jared from the 1953 version of House of Wax, played by the master of the classic horror villain, Vincent Price. He is a master wax sculptor, and his business partner, Matthew Burke, played by Roy Roberts, wants to appeal to the more base desires of the public, always pushing Jared to make more lurid, bloody, macabre tableaus. And Jared refuses. He's all about the art. And when he does this, Burke decides that the only way that he's going to make any money on this is to burn down the museum for the insurance money with Henry Jared inside. And that's when he became a hot guy, when he burst into flames. Everyone assumes that Jared died in the fire until he returns almost a year and a half later. But this time, not only is he willing to go dark, he's willing to employ new dark sculpting techniques. And I'm sure that you know where it happens after this, so I don't even need to go there. The movie features Morticia Addams herself, Carolyn Jones, and some of the most blatant 3D effect shots this side of Friday the 13th Part 3. Everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say paddleball.
Are you done yet?
I am done yet. What is your definition of a hot guy?
Not the same as yours. I think we went in 2 different directions tonight. My definition of a hot guy killer is one that I find yummy even though he kills. I don't know where to go from here. My number 5, are we ready for that? I don't know,
Yes.
I missed it.
5.
Yeah, I went a totally different direction. My number 5 is Tyler Maine. And admittedly, I missed out on his hot guy factor until Horror Realm 24 last year. For reasons I have yet to figure out, Canada always seems to be overflowing with really sexy hunks. And this 6'8" hot guy killer is definitely one of their finest creations ever. The gentle giant with a cute butt had every lady at Horror Realm last year completely swooning with his charm, soft-spoken, chiseled to perfection face, and freaking amazing buff arms. I don't know if you have a picture of him with his arms, but there it is. He's perfect, whether in person with the sexy scruff or as Michael Myers with the disheveled hair. His soulful eyes can swoon anyone, anywhere, anytime. And we will all gladly follow him into battle. He has 51 acting credits. 16 of them are horror, which gives him an 8.2% factor. He's a super hot, super villain in many roles. He was the hot guy killer. Technically, I don't know if he killed anyone as Sabretooth, but we're just calling him a hot guy killer there. And, of course, is Michael Myers. And here's a fun fact for you. He is the tallest guy ever to play Michael Myers.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so he is hotness all around. And he can be my Valentine any day, but I think he's married. I'm not sure. So yeah, that's all I got on him. That you don't really need anything else. He's hot. He's doable. He's a killer.
We are ready to move on to number 4, he said, rearranging his screen so he could see what was going on. Again, I'm just going to stick with the theme of things that are on fire. So naturally, you have to have a movie that's actually entitled The Burning, 1981, and we're talking about Cropsey, played by Lou David. Come on, you knew this was going to be in here, right? Based on a New Jersey campfire story, Cropsey is, and I have a quote from myself on this, an absolute dick of a camp counselor. One night, some of the campers decide they're going to get their revenge by sneaking a rotting skull with candles in his eyes into its cabin. Unfortunately, Cropsey's cabin is a friggin' pigsty and happens to have a jerry can of gasoline inside as well. So when he wakes up, he freaks out, knocks over the skull, sets fire to himself, and this is all the opening scene of the movie. You can see there that is a really long and great sustained burn where he runs out of the cabin. It is slowed down, so it's probably not the stuntman wasn't as burning as long as it seems in the film when you're watching it, but it's still a great extended burn scene. The special effects makeup you see there is done by the master himself, Mr. Tom Savini, and this features early appearances of Jason Alexander and Holly Hunter. Was compared very unfavorably to other camp-based slashers that preceded it. We're not going to name any names, but I think that this is a solid piece of 80s horror, and it has gained a cult following. Look at that pretty face. Look at that face. Oh.
Not a hot, that no. Hush. Alright, my number 4 is Skeet Ulrich. Something about hot guys and bad boys going hand in hand. Number 4, he's no exception to the stereotype. 6 foot and divorced. It makes him unlike any other guy on this list look at him. For 2 reasons. 1, he's less than a foot taller than me, and 2, he's available, which means I still have a chance at nailing him. Only one on the list that I can say that for. First caught my eye in 1996 with The Craft. Officially, he became a hot guy killer later that year as the iconic killer Billy Loomis in Scream, where his gazing psycho eyes and tempting tongue somehow made licking blood look extremely desirable. Donning a suit jacket in the Newton Boys, leather jacket in The Craft, police jacket in Law and Order, flannel jacket in Riverdale, jean jacket in Jericho. Who cares a jacket? Just take it off and ravage me. I have no idea where I was going with this. He lost me at jacket. I have no clue. I digress. The point is, he's hot, he's available, and he's played a killer multiple times. 49 acting roles, 13 are horror, so he only has a 6.4%. But Billy Loomis and Scream, some kind of killer in CSI New York, I would take him any day. Fun fact for him, he was named Skeeter in Little League because he was small and fast. And he avoids red carpet events and other public appearances because he's not interested in the consequence of fame, so he probably would not be impressed with being my number 4 at all. But he's available, so I'll take it.
I didn't know we were supposed to do that other than just the basic countdown thing. I feel unprepared. But since we have a number on the screen, we're going to go with number 3. It's not what you thought I was going to be number 3 when I started talking about people who were on fire. You may have thought that I had a whole theme going here with the red and the green. That just happened to happen. It has nothing to do with my number 1 pick because my number 3 pick is Frederick Krueger from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. How is Freddy not number 1? We all knew that the granddaddy of all burn victims was going to be on the list somewhere. Probably thought he was going to be taking the number 1 spot when I started spouting off my weird people who were on fire thing. But I've got some people I think you're going to agree with. As far as killing and being hot go, little hotter, little cooler. Lil killi-er. I just invented that word. What is there to say about the classic villain portrayed by Robert Englund that hasn't already been said? Many remember him only as the wisecracking villain that he is in the later movies, but go back and watch that first film again. That first film, I'm turning very British all of a sudden after saying aluminium in the pre-show. Go back and watch the original Nightmare on Elm Street again. There's no humor in his game there. He's all about scaring the crap out of people. Lots of great horror, crazy amounts of gore, really trippy, creepy imagery. And of course, Heather Langenkamp's Nancy is such a great final girl that she comes back not once, but 2 subsequent films. Little hand clapping for Mr. England, who gives out free hugs.
Aw, I want a hug. Alright, ready for me? My number.
Are we? That's the question.
I mean, I'd be ready for him any day, but he's happily married. My number 3, everyone knows I have a forbidden love for all things that are Dallas, and this 6-foot, 1-inch, green-eyed piece of perfection is no exception. He started, oh, wait, I forgot to even say his name. I get so excited. It's Jensen Ackles. He started his career as a model when he was just a tiny little toddler. He can sing, he can dance, he can act, he can play lacrosse. He has his own brewing company. So no wonder why he's been both a superhero and a supervillain. There's nothing this man can't do. Smitten as a kitten, I am over this one. I don't even know where to begin. First caught my eye in 1997, captivated me for 15 seasons on WB's highest rated show of all time when he played a good guy, bad boy, sometimes possessed by an evil demon, hot guy killer. He's also a pie-loving hot guy killer. He could be my bloody Valentine any day. Sadly, like I said, he's happily married. 39 acting roles, only 7 were horror, so it's only a 3%, but I veto that because he technically was in 327 episodes of Supernatural, so technically if you want to take every one of those episodes, I think it's a way higher ratio, but I'm not doing that kind of math. He's been a hot guy killer both on TV with Dark Angel and The Boys, and as Supernatural when he killed bad dead things as Dean Winchester and killed good people when possessed by the Archangel Michael. And on the big screen, spoiler if you haven't seen it, he was the killer in 2009's remake of My Bloody Valentine. Fun facts for him, he's bow-legged. He has been quoted as saying, "They have studied my body more closely than even my own wife. They're going to notice my stupid bow legs." I personally think his legs are perfect, and his wife is one lucky lady. Also, he owns Family Business Brewing, which is a nod to a Supernatural family. And last fun fact, Jensen and his wife actually set Jeffrey Dean Morgan up on a blind date. That blind date led to his marriage, which was officiated by another amazing hottie, Norman Reedus. And Jensen is still married to his lady, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan is still married to his. He's so perfect.
Number 2. This one's going to be a little controversial, but I have a workaround. For my second hottest killer, hot guy killer, we're going with Christine / Roland D. LeBay / possibly Arnie Cunningham, ? With Christine from the 1983 film. If I was going to pick any of my selections to actually make it onto Suzy's list of hot as in sexy characters, this would be my choice. I mean, what is sexier than a classic piece of Detroit steel like a 1958 Plymouth Fury? Even the name is badass. It's a Fury. Directed by John Carpenter, based on a book by Stephen King, and I'm going to pause for a moment to let that little mix of badassery sink in.
While you pause, may I interject?
Yes.
This is one of my favorite movies.
There
And
you go.
not just because the guys in it are hot. I love everything about this movie. I love the car. I love the guys. I love the story. It was done. Yeah, this is one of my top 7 favorite movies.
I knew you had like excellent taste. Before you get all upset, this is supposed to be a list of guy killers. Remember that Christine is possessed by her previous owner, Roland LeBay, and that Arnie may have been around for some of the killing. Probably not. Who knows? We don't know. The windows were really dark. It was night out. Come on. I couldn't put on the prom scene from Carrie or Charlie McGee from Firestarter. You got to let me get Stephen King in here somewhere. Anyway, if you haven't seen the film, and we know that Suzy has because she has excellent taste, Arnie Cunningham, played by Keith Gordon, is a super dork whose life turns around after he buys the titular vehicle. Soon his best friend Dennis, played by John Stockwell, and his girlfriend Lee, played by a pre-Baywatch Alexandra Paul, start to notice changes in Arnie. Oh, and the car is killing off anyone that pisses on Arnie, because she is jealous and protective. It's got Harry Dean Stockwell. And the scene where the Flaming Christine runs over William Orstrand's Buddy Repperton is one of my favorite kills in any movie all time. And it's one that I reenacted years ago, although the car wasn't on fire at the time. I'll have to put that picture up later on.
Yay! Alright, moving on. My number 2, we have now reached my favorite part of tonight's show, entitled, I Could Date You or Your Daddy.
That's creepy as
Hold on,
hell.
I need a minute here. Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Also, standing at 6'1", one of God's finest creations, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he makes every girl want to play doctor or be his end-of-the-world zombie apocalypse concubine. I'd be fine with either. 78 acting credits, 40% horror, for 31% hot guy killer credits are in Batman vs. Superman. Spoiler, again, if you haven't seen it, twisty little movie called The Resident, and obviously is Negan from The Walking Dead. I guess I need to mention, like Jensen, good guy, hot guy killer of demons, monsters, and other nasties in Supernatural, where he played Jensen's dad. Fun fact, he's only 12 years older than Jensen, even though he played his daddy. He owns a candy shop in New York with Paul Rudd, has a passion for rescue dogs, just like me, yay. And I adopted my first rescue kitty on his birthday, so my cat's name is Winchester. So yes, I would take him and Jensen any day. That's all I got.
And we don't have a graphic for this, but you had an honorable mention, didn't you, Mike?
I do, because I am a cheater McFeeder. My honorable mention is Lord Summerisle and all of his followers from The Wicker Man, 1973. Don't even bring up the sequel. Or not the sequel, the remake. It's a fun movie. The remake is fun to watch for the crazy scenes, but really all you have to do is just put in Wicker Man, Nick Cage, crazy scenes, and watch that. Don't slog through that movie. The 1973 Wicker Man, however, is a classic that will just leave you stunned. We got to see this in the theater last year, and it still holds up. Straight-laced to the point of being uptight, the virginal Sergeant Howie, played by Edward Woodward, actually gets to be the person who is the hottest man in this film. He is sent to Summerisle to investigate the disappearance of 12-year-old Rowan Morrison. He is repulsed by the unchristian paganism of the people of the island, and Lord Summerisle is played by Christopher Lee, who, honestly, again, speaking of hot guys in the terms that Suzy is talking about them, always looks amazing. I mean, from Dracula through to Count Dooku, always look badass. And if you ever want to know what the pure definition of badass is, look up Christopher Lee's real life. It's amazing. The man may actually have been the person that James Bond was based on. Now, if you can get through the final scene of Wicker Man, where Howie's heartfelt prayers are being heard over the villagers singing, and the animals that are already in the Wicker Man, as they start to burn, start screaming, and you don't have chills, You're a better person than I am. Burning to death is literally my number one worst way to die, as far as I'm concerned, and that was before I saw this film, probably at much too early an age.
I would say drowning would be worse.
I feel at drowning, I would eventually pass out at some point before I actually died. Although I suppose you pass out from smoke inhalation with being on fire too. But now, number one, do you have drum rolls? Are there drum rolls? Do we do drum rolls?
Yes, but
I don't know. I can't do it. I tried.
I think my finger just sunk into the desk.
It doesn't work very well on a Trapper Keeper. I'm sorry.
My number one, the hottest hot killer 37 films, because it will be a cold day in hell before I recognize that Roland Emmerich piece of shit. Now you know who I'm talking about. And when I say cold day in hell, I'm not talking about the one that's 30 minutes from my home, because hell, Michigan is really cold right now, actually. 37 films, that's more than Jason and Michael combined, recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records as, and I quote, the longest continuously running film series. He's got a star on the Walk of Fame. He received the MTV Lifetime Achievement Award. I'm talking about the G-Man, the Oju Kaiju, the king of monsters himself. Go, go, Godzilla!
Meh.
Whatever metric you use to measure him, he's a bad mother. Total kills, he's everyone that we put together by a factor of 1,000. He's killed Tokyo so many times that it is even funny. You want to talk about hot? He's literally a walking nuclear furnace. He's capable of blasting out atomic breath. He's taken on other kaiju, beings from outer space, creatures created out of toxic sludge, aliens, even robot versions of himself, and he's come out victorious. In the span of I'm sorry?
Are you sure it's a he?
According to the websites that I spent a lot of time on, they are listing Godzilla as a he.
Okay. I didn't know.
Again, the Roland Emmerich version, probably a female because that one laid eggs. But again, that's just Zilla because there's no God there. In terms of the films, he ranges from a villain to kind of an anti-hero to an outright hero and then back again. The films themselves have gone from dark with socio-political overtones to action punch-em-ups to action comedies. I'm really kind of surprised we didn't have the jumping or the flying on my tail, but those are there. You just saw another reason that I'm an absolute fan. His big bad that goes up against him is, of course, the three-headed dragon. So... I got to get my dragon stuff in there. So my number one hottest is Godzilla.
Yay, Godzilla. And my number one, yay, drumroll, where's the confetti, the sparkles, the everything? It's Robert Ressler. Yay! I think everyone might have known that was coming. Also, it's 6'1". So here's my question before I even start going on and on about his awesomeness. Is 6'1" like the average height for a guy, or do I just have a type?
I think maybe Hollywood has a type, but then...
Well, that's fair. So, great hair, great body, sexy dark eyes. This guy happens to be the oldest on the list, but as I always say, like a fine wine, we get better with age. Considering he's the gold standard when it comes to arrogant heartbreaker characters, I would say he's also the finest. Blessing all of the girls on the big screen for the first time in 1985's Nightmare on Elm Street 2, it was thanks to his lathered-up role in 1988's Shag that his no good for you but oh so wonderful bad boy persona caught my eye, ruining nice guy chances for all the men in the world forevermore. This is where we all learned that bad boys are the best. In 1991, he earned the title Hot Guy Killer in Stephen King's Sometimes They Come Back, continuing Hot Guy Killer roles years later in 2016's Blood Feast. Still making movies, I look forward to checking his movie's out. Especially his most recent one, 2024's Flying Thief. Sorry, kind of lost it there. But I mean, look at his stomach. How can you not? 63 acting roles, 17 are horror. This hottie has an 11% horror ratio. He's an actor, writer, skateboarder, surfer, knows martial arts. Seriously, is there anything that this guy cannot do? He's just got mad skills everywhere. His teen magazine posters, I have to admit, covered the walls of my bedroom. He is the total package, and best of all, we will be graced with his presence at this year's Horror Realm convention. Everyone give it up for and congratulate Robert Ressler in being the hottest of the hotties of Otherworldly Culture's first ever Hot Guy Killer special. Yay! And I look forward to meeting him in person. I promise I will behave myself when I present to him Otherworldly Culture's 2025 Hot Guy Killer trophy. Yay!
I see a restraining order in your future.
Save myself. Fun facts. His first role was in 2 episodes of The Facts of Life. In December of 2024, he got to work with his son on his son's first leading role in a movie, Razor Boy. Also look forward to hearing about details about that in the panel. He actually skateboarded and surfed on a semi-professional level. Not only does he have a great hiney, he was actually in a Heineken commercial, too. One point, he didn't eat red meat. I'm not sure if that's still true. I'm sure we can ask him that during his panel. Also, just so you know, I was not the only one bewitched by his body and shag. It has actually been noted in articles that he was cast, even though he's an amazing actor, he was actually casted for his heartthrob appeal and not for his acting skills in that movie. There is even, just so you know, it's not just me, there is a Pinterest page titled 76 Robert Ressler Ideas. And it is just 76 pictures of him and the reasons why women love him. Other interesting fact, he had an audition on the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Him and Charlie Sheen auditioned together, but neither got to read because Johnny Depp and the other guy were already cast. So, at the special Valentine's treat, if Jeffy Miller is watching, I also have, are you ready for this, a Pauly Shore connection. Robert Ressler was in with Tom Fridley. They were both in Tonight's the Night, and Tom Fridley and Pauly Shore were in Phantom of the Mall's Eric Revenge. So, that's all I have for him. He's perfect in every way. Yay! Is that a heart? How do you make a heart? I don't know. I'm not 12. But yeah, that's him. Look! And he's going to get that certificate when we meet him, too. It's going to be great. I can't wait. So that's it. That's my top 5.
Fantastic. We do have some promos. Do you want to go through those, gang?
We do. Well, do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first? You went first.
Well, let me get some things set up for you here. We're going to start with our friends at Otherworldly Culture. On Dead on Thursday next week, we do have Dead on the Bases.
Yay!
Yay!
And one thing we have to talk about is one of our panelists is going to be at Horror Realm with his own activity. Mike, what are you bringing along to Horror Realm?
I am bringing along a a brand new setup that I hope will actually work, because I've tried out a new way of displaying the books instead of just having them in a rack on the table. I've got some folding bookshelves, and I realized that I needed another set of bookshelves. So I marked out the space that I will have as a vendor at Horror Realm and tried to figure out the best way of putting all those in there. And I have a sneaking suspicion that nothing that I came up with is actually going to work, and I'll wing it, and I'll have something even cooler while I'm there. But if you guys are there in Pittsburgh, come out and say hi.
All right. Suzy, you wanted to tell us about this next young man that's coming to Horror Realm.
So one of the other things at Horror Realm will be, well, first of all, I guess I should back up. Sorry if I get tongue-tied. But that's the one thing we can't forget about with Horror Realm is the amazing vendor hall we have. Our vendors are what pretty much brings it all together, and we couldn't be there without them. The one that I am most excited about is a very special young man that you have up there. He actually made this, my little Tinkerbell thing. I think it's amazing. I love all of his stuff. I'm definitely going to go broke when I go to his table. But he's a very, very special young man. He goes by the Autistic Tiger. He's an amazing human. He's a 10-year-old autistic boy. His name is Tiger. He has limited verbal ability, but as you can see behind me with my Tinkerbell, he is an incredibly talented artist. I don't even know what to say, how to even begin with him. I'm just so unbelievably impressed with him. I can't wait to check him out. Tiger created the Autistic Tiger character when he was only 6 years old. All of his original art gets to promote autism awareness by showcasing the positive aspects of autism. Definitely stop by his table, check him out on Facebook, order some of his stuff through Shopify. He does commissions, he does his regular artwork that he comes up with himself. He's got hoodies, he's got sweatshirts. I mean, it's just, I can't say enough about this kid. I'm just blown away.
And another friend of yours is also going to be...
Yes, Darkside Collectibles. Timmy from Plumboro, check it out. He got me these earrings, perfect for tonight. It's called Horror Hottie. Just want to give a huge shout out, thank you to Darkside Collectibles for the killer earrings. They were perfect for tonight. Darkside Collectibles is a specialty horror, sci-fi, pop culture shop in Plumboro. They have t-shirts, hats, coffee mugs, artwork, shadow boxes, little, I don't know what you call them, blade, knifey replica thingies, local artists. They have jewelry, obviously, stickers, posters. Best of all, they have freshly popped popcorn in a nice little old-fashioned popcorn maker, and it's free, and they give you bags of it, and it's so yummy, and you can just sit there and pop the popcorn while you can. I spent 2 hours the other day just walking around looking at everything. Totally go check them out. Load up on some killer clown stuff before heading over to the Horror Realm convention at the Crown Plaza in the South Hills. It's perfect.
Suzy, how is it possible for you to eat? Because every time I see you, all you do is talk.
Pop the popcorn. I have an addiction to popcorn. I could just sit there and just give me popcorn. I won't say a word.
Well, we also
so we also know how we can lure her away from Mr. Rustler as well.
Yes, give me popcorn. And I'll just lose. Yeah, as I lose my mind over him, I will just squirrel to where the popcorn is and be done. Yeah, I'm telling you, I will be on my best behavior with him.
I suspect that won't be enough. I suspect there will need to be some sort of legal action taken.
No. Listen, he is a great family man. He is happily married. If it was Skeet, then you might have to get the restraining order because I have a chance with him.
Or the restraints.
Yeah, just restraints in
general. That would be fun. I don't know.
Idea. I knew you were going to go there. I'm so glad you took that. I was like softball throwing that over the plate for you.
There is one more shout out that I didn't give Tim a heads up about that I just thought about that is really special that I want to do. I wanted to give a special 1-year anniversary shout out to Death Comes Lifting. This is the 1-year anniversary of their storefront gym. Death Comes Lifting specializes in fitness for the misfits. They creating a multimedia universe that serves the community online and in person, fostering all of your physical, mental, spiritual needs while in a group setting or one-on-one. Check them out online in the gym at Horror Realm, and they have some pretty rockin' hoodies and other clothing as well. So congratulations on the gym, the physical gym, being there for a year now. I think they have some events going on this weekend in Pittsburgh too. But yeah, they're doing a lot of good work.
All right, and now we shift over to Horror Realm, which is only 20 days away at this particular point. One of the things that people sometimes forget about is the fantastic film room that they have with movies going almost the entirety of the entire convention time. It's really worth checking out the schedule, which right now is out on their website.
They have a whole film festival.
Absolutely. Of course, everybody thinks about the guests when coming to Horror Realm. Why don't you guys tell me some of the guests you're looking forward to seeing this year at Horror Realm?
Well, I think it's a no-brainer.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder who it'll be.
Yes, Robert Rustler's my number one, but also Lisa, what's your last name, Lisa? Something,
Shrag.
I forget. Yes, she played Mary Lou in Hello, Mary Lou prom night too. I'm probably most excited about her. And then you can't forget Diana Prince, better known as Darcy the Manhole Girl.
All right. What about you, Michael? We're going to allow you to speak once. Anyone you're in particular interested in seeing?
I would love to swing by and say hello to Barbara Crampton again. I met her years and years ago, and she was extremely gracious. Just a very nice person.
Fantastic. Now, there's a lot of great panels that are going to be going on at this year's Horror Realm. On Friday night, we have the Thanksgiving panel at 6 p.m. Michael Berryman on Friday night at 7 p.m. At 8 p.m., we have 2 from Evil Dead 2. And then at 8:30, Suzy will be attacking poor Robert Ressler. He doesn't have a chance.
I will not. I will respect his happy hum. I will not do a thing.
Okay. In the evening on Friday, we have Scarioke starting at 10:30 p.m. And there is a very odd, we don't even know what it is, event that'll be happening Friday at 9 p.m. right after Robert Ressler runs away. We will have the Otherworldly Culture presents You Don't Know. Look forward to that great event at this year's Horror Realm.
I think we need to have someone film, like video, me meeting him, just so we can...
Oh, there will be film. There will be film run. I think for legal reasons we have to run film when that happens.
I was actually thinking perhaps we didn't want that on film for legal reasons. I believe the prosecution usually calls that Exhibit A.
Just start a countdown to see how many seconds it takes for me to just completely squeal to a whole new, like, sound
level.
I have this horrible idea of, like, you're like, hello, it's very nice to, and then you just...
I just figured I would just, like, open my mouth and nothing would come out, and I would just...
Saturday, we have more panels. At 11 a.m., we have The Return of the Living Dead. Coming at 12 noon, voice actor Allison Court will be our subject. At 1 p.m., Nick Nemeth, who you might know as Dolph Ziggler in the WWE. He's now wrestling under Nick Nemeth. At 2 p.m., we have 3 people from Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3 will be subject of our panel. At 3 p.m., we have 4 members of the cast from Killer Clowns. 2 clowns and the 2 leads. Very exciting. At 4 p.m., we have the Women in Horror, which includes Barbara Crampton, Diana Prince, Lisa Schrag, and Tiffany Shepis. That'll be at 4 p.m. on Saturday. And on Saturday at 5 p.m., Tom Morga will take the stage. He is, I believe, one of the few actors that has played Jason, Michael, and I think there was one other one that he did as well. That it's like impossible to find people with his credentials. He is a stuntman. He has, 200, 300 some past credentials. That should be a great panel. You won't want to miss Saturday at 5 p.m. But things don't end at 5 p.m. with the panels. At 6 o'clock, we have the horror match game, which I'm sure I'll get roped into. 8 p.m. will be the Bad Movie Bingo presentation. And at 9 p.m., it's time for the Horror Prom Party.
Yay! I can't wait! I want to go to a prom!
That's everything we have for Horror Realm.
Yay. So is that it?
That is it. You can do a closing.
Well, you did. Don't forget, though, that Otherworldly Cultures themselves will also have a table at Horror Realm. So people need to stop by, meet their favorite panelists while they're at Horror Realm, buy some merch, score a promo bag, and we'll see you there. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to rate us, like us, check us out on Facebook, Insta, YouTube, Twitch, Secrets of Social we don't have. Great and Powerful, do we have any others?
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. I don't like that.
Oh, it's so much fun. Other than that, that's a wrap, folks. Happy Valentine's Day. Make sure you break someone's heart. And until next time, don't forget to tighten your tiara. Never let anyone dull your sparkle. Reach for the remote and keep streaming. Have a great night.
Happy Valentine's Day.